the space, like what happened? I think I was one of the more challenging cases that wasn't military, because I think the process took longer for me than it did for most people. And I had a lot of stuff, but people have life much worse than me. I keep that in mind as well. But those are the things that helped me. It may help you. You may need a trauma therapist, not just a regular therapist. I'm now trying to decide whether I should go back to a normal therapist and not be with a trauma therapist. But not oftentimes, just because I think sometimes my intelligence level, sometimes just because people care more than other people, I need a specific type of person, and usually the normal therapists are not my type of people, because I want to know more than an average person would want to know. So I would say one other thing that helped me a lot was a Christian counselor. Christian counselor is vital, okay? Vital. So I had a Christian counselor. At the same time, I had my trauma counselor. And I went to counseling twice a week. Once with one, well, every week, I would say. Sometimes twice a week. Sometimes twice a week, because I would go to the trauma therapist and the biblical counselor in the same week. I kind of want to get my biblical counseling degree or certification or something, but I'm at the point where I don't have anything to prove to myself anymore. So why am I going to school to pay money for that? I'm kind of at that point, and I don't want any more debt. So, what was I saying about the counselor? Oh, if I went back to a normal counselor, I may ask questions of okay, I see this as, sometimes you'll have a Christian counselor, right, that's not necessarily being through trauma. Luckily, the one I had was a Christian counselor who had trauma, been through trauma, right? So that's very, very specific. So then I may have a Christian counselor now that I enjoy, but I can't ask them a question of, hey, this is just, okay, side note, this is, as I talk, I'm waking up into my mind that what I'm saying is actually needed in the world. So that's why my brain is working twice. I keep stopping and being like, so I may have a question of this says this in the Bible and this is what it means. Now I'll put that in the context of, I was abused by this person. How do I handle this? And a regular counselor may not be able to help me with that, and a regular Christian counselor may not be able to help me with that, but I may be able to reach out to a biblical trauma counselor and ask that, because you may have a trauma counselor who's not a Christian. I also had, this is a blessing, literally a blessing, I had a trauma-informed biblical counselor and a trauma counselor who was a Christian. There probably was no other way that combination could have went together and been successful for me, without both of those two people being Christian and both of those two people being trained in trauma. I'm gonna have to process that. So, and then once you recognize things like that, those things were meant specifically for me, and I was placed in a place specifically for me to receive that help that I needed, I can't then go on to tell myself that I do not have any purpose, or what I'm doing is not important, or who I'm trying to reach is not important. And also, when people try to tell me, because this was the other topic I was going to talk about, but I'm not going to do it in this video, is the reason I left my home church and went to a new church is because I needed something that I wasn't getting. And that was not even the thing that I just told you I received when I got there. So if receiving what you need where you are, you need to move. Period. And what gives you confidence, you may see somebody have confidence in what they say online, when they write a book, when they public speaking, right? When I'm talking to you right now, I still got tears in my eyes. I've always been a crybaby, and I still am. I just don't care anymore to address it. But I can now stand in that confidence that God created me for a purpose. Why else would He heal me other than to help you? And he could just do it because He's good, right? But why would I not outpour from that blessing to help you all as well? And then that helps me to stand firm when people come to me still to this day and say, wow, well, you left us, right? But this journey is about me and Christ. That's more important than whatever you think me and you relationship is in a horizontal level. Me and Christ got to be together first. So if I'm in this church and I need something and I'm not getting it, I have to go. Because what they didn't know, but what I knew, is that I had already remained there longer than I was supposed to. And I was trying to make it okay. And it was not okay. And that was confirmed by the move to where I went, because I was nourished, I was seen in a different way. So it's difference between being nourished and loved by people who raised you versus being placed in a place where you are from the outside and people can see your gifts, your talents, and can tell you more about yourself from experiencing you than you telling them about yourself. When I went in there, I didn't know nothing about myself. So being in that new place and other people telling me things about myself, I was forced to look and say, oh, is that me? Oh, am I intelligent? Oh, am I gifted in this area? I have the ability to do this thing that you're asking me to do. I didn't know I had that ability, right? So, and I may even receive that information where you are, but you can't process it because it's people who you've been in relationship with so long, and you need it from a new voice. So, and it's hard in the Black community, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard because I will always forever feel like I owe the people who raised me everything. I will always feel like that. Although I know while that is true, it should not be true. Because God is higher than my family. My God is actually who provided for me and took care of me through my family. So I have to let go of me feeling like I owe them something and them feeling like I owe them something, and be more focused on what I owe to God through His blessings on my life that can overflow to bless other people. Because if I spend my life trying to pay back what I felt like I received from my family, then how would I have any energy, resources, any other things left to bless the people who actually need to be blessed? My family is already blessed. They don't need me to bless them other than my words. I say thank you. I write cards and say, hey, you may not know this thing affected my life in a positive way, but it did. And I tell them that, right? most of the people in my family are not in a place where they need anything monetarily from me. The people who have already poured into my life. But there are people outside who needs to be, their life needs to be saved. They need to give their life to Christ. They need somebody to talk to them so they don't die today. My family does not need that. And so that's why I have to listen to God first and do what He says versus listening to, hey, I may owe this person something. Or, hey, I may owe this person something. And I'm blessed to have examples of people who can tell me from their mouth at this new place I was placed in to say, hey, because I said to myself, oh, I owe you this, right? Because you helped me. So that's one little notch. Oh, I need to remind myself, I need to bless them because they blessed me. And they said, no, God gave me these things. These things are not mine. I just pass them along to help someone else who's in the family of God. Right? Help somebody else that's in the family of God. That doesn't mean that you need to pay me back, because it was never mine to begin with. And your family, that's going to be the hardest part for you to accept that. Because friends, right? You may say, oh, if they don't accept that information, they can leave, right? That's true. And then they may talk bad on your name and say, hey, I did this for them and they ain't never did anything for me. That kind of thing, right? But that means also they shouldn't be your friend, number one, because that means they didn't give from their heart of not receiving it back. And that's just not what friends do. Let's just put it that way. That's just not the friends you have. If you want to do something generous in return, that's just the plus on their side, because it's something they already gave away, right? They ain't thinking about it. But when you give, I don't even know where I'm going with this, but y'all, I know y'all will get it. You know why? Because God gave it to me. So, yeah, you may have to leave where you are now to see your purpose, to know that you're qualified for your purpose, and to heal from the things that are around you. Oh, that's what I'm saying. That it's the hardest place to do repair is your family. That has been true for me. Friends, I'm like, you can go, it's all right. But family, I feel the same way about family. You can go if you want to go, kind of thing. But I still had that pull of like, oh, I should show up because they did X, Y, and Z. Like, for family gatherings, I want to stay at home. Literally. Most of the time. I have like certain holidays where I'm like, okay, I want to go. Like Christmas the last couple of years, I've been wanting to stay at home. One year, the first year Arthur was born, I was actually sick on Christmas, and so I couldn't go. The second year, something happened. I had surgery, and my gallbladder took out. I don't know if I went to Christmas that year. I think I did. And then the year after that, I think it's the year I broke my ankle. So we go to multiple places on Christmas, so I went to the first two places. And by that point, I was exhausted. And I went home. And so, like, Christmas has been kind of hit or miss for me. Because I'm just like, yeah. And then then you also, this is without even throwing a kid into the factor, right? I want my kid to have these traditions, possibly. I don't even know. I don't know anymore. I'm trying to think now, what do I want Christmas to look like for my family? What do I want to do on Christmas? I've been doing what my family wants to do on Christmas, but what do I want to do on Christmas? What do we want to do on Christmas? So, yeah, there's a lot to evaluate. Because I know it's a blessing to have a family. I know there's a blessing that someone wants to provide a meal for you, but it's also, you have to take into consideration your mental health and what is good for you and your family moving forward with the situation that you have. If you have someone that, if you got to go to the event and you got to protect your child the whole time because you know it's a predator there, and you can't even relax and enjoy the holiday, is it really worth going there for a meal? Or can you write a note to say, I love you, I appreciate that you're doing this meal, but we're going to have to respectfully decline. Or you can give a reason, you cannot give a reason. You don't owe anybody a reason. I'm feeling led to do something else. We may have to start doing Friends Thanksgiving because it's getting a little like, we don't have to be with our family every single holiday. Like, I'm starting to think, like, last year we had every single holiday a meal, and then we had a family reunion. I was like, I'm done. I'm tired. Like, and then we don't even live far apart, so we see each other all the time. So I'm like, this is a lot. Now that I am aware of how I feel in certain places and what I'm trying to teach my daughter and what she wants to do, and I want her to have the memory of being with her cousins on holidays. But then if I go, most of the time her cousins ain't even there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going for her, but she's not even getting the thing that I want her to get when we go. So, I don't know. Anyway, all that to say, if you need to move, move.